This week, we dive into a Japanese Evil Dead inspired classic. Oh no, not the face, not the face! This is Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. Somewhere in Tokyo in the 70s, there's nothing like a romantic toast, which includes a giant kitchen knife. The lovely lady plays the knife game with her man's face, but it's ultimately him that shish kebabs her. The logical response is to pull a Japanese take on an Edgar Allan Poe poem and rip up the floor, burying her. She lets him know, "I'm not dead," which I'm sure won't lead to anything bad down the way. 30 years later, we meet Shenji, a guy who clearly knows his way around the weight room. He meets his ex Mika, who has no time for his literal flexing. She's here to see a photo of his family's home, which may be haunted. I mean, is it really outside the norm for a front door to smile at you? Anyway, Shenji, Mika, and a psychic travel to the home, which has a stunning view of a nearby cemetery and some positively, unique interior decor. While Shenji fixes his hair, the psychic either has lunch repeat on him, or he successfully summons a resident spirit. He gets clocked, and what was that? He wakes up outside where the cheeky spirits have screwed with the car. Upon re-entering the house, he fails to heed the age-old warning about accepting gifts from creepy dolls. Luckily, he has a meet cute in the kitchen, and she really wants his body. But things take a dark turn as she knifes him in the heart. Or maybe he does that to himself? Shenji and Mika go to check on him. They find bloody glasses and a bloody knife, which indicates to me at least that it must have been a hell of a party. The psychic comes out of the closet, surprising them with a necklace that really caught his eye. Doors and windows lock themselves, and the possessed psychic attacks. Shenji discovers the psychic's eye is retractable, and then things turn really cutthroat. But that doesn't stop the psychics get up and go. He continues laughing as he's punched and slammed into a door. Shenji's dad appears on the TV and tells the pair that the answer is in the basement. But before they can go search, the vengeful ghost drops in and finds everything super funny while beating ass. That is until he loses his head. Kudos to his body for continuing the fight, even as Shenji wants to ask him a couple of questions that send him to pieces. And then, to add insult to injury, Shenji criticizes his art skills. Shenji and Mika go to the basement to find the spirit-destroying weapon described by his dad. They locate a good old-fashioned pump-action shotgun, which helps Shenji find his inner Ash Williams.
Groovy.
They return to find body parts are missing! Holy shit! Oh my god! His head-hand combo goes full rabbit asshole, biting Mika. Shenji blows the head to bits, but somehow a roaring, naked, headless, handless body decides to join the party. Its time is incredibly short-lived, and it's blown to hell. But the ghost comes back fugly. You know that weird meatloaf feet thing that made the rounds last Halloween? Would not be out of place on this guy. Shenji is clearly a little freaked out by it, despite the ghost being super affectionate. The revived but still possessed Mika isn't impressed and grabs the situation by the balls. Shenji ends up back in the basement and realizes his dad's message about the perfect weapon was his muscles. Oh my, just 1 second. Shenji is back in full Ash mode along with a killer beat. The fugly ghost feels the weight of the world, and then we get
Sayonara, baby.
He takes a different approach and chooses the tough love route with Mika. The ghost puts on a brave face, to which Shenji responds with a rod to his kisser. He unloads on the ghost, drops a quippy line,
baby.
and finally it explodes all over everyone. I do have to wonder how those stains are ever gonna come out. So, Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, or the Japanese Evil Dead as it's also known, is a 1995, or 2012, or a 2014 Japanese horror movie directed, written, edited, and starring Shinichi Fukasawa. His character is listed as Shenji on IMDb and Wikipedia, but he's given a different name in the movie, so take that how you will. This poor movie has had a production road as rocky as that poor possessed psychic. It was filmed in 1995 and edited over the course of the next 15 years. Its first release was a bootleg format in 2012. It did get a proper Japanese theater and DVD release in 2014, and the first official international release came in 2017 in the UK. This is Fukasawa's debut film and drew heavy inspiration from The Evil Dead, as well as horror manga, Hellraiser, and the 70s Incredible Hulk series. It was filmed at his parents' home during a very hot summer, and they ran into numerous issues, including an infestation of insects, missing film reels, and reshoots that reportedly continued as late as 2009. Everything was shot on Super 8, which definitely gives it that grindhouse feel. The effects are practical or very basic CGI, but they really seem to work within the scope of the movie. Overall, Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell is a fun movie that lovers of Evil Dead, or horror fans in general, should definitely check out. The first half is more of a slow burn, but the last half more than makes up for that. The actors play in an over-the-top manner you would expect from Evil Dead, and the camera work lends itself pretty well to that era. I'll be honest, I'm a little torn in terms of the soundtrack. The score itself pops in and out, which could be seen as well-placed and strategic, or just completely random. Same thing could be said of the sound effects. There are moments that feel more appropriate for ASMR instead of natural sounds you'd hear in a film. I picked this one up on a whim based on the title, and I'm really glad I did. I very much enjoyed it, and as a fan of The Evil Dead, seeing a Japanese take on this was right up my alley. Bloody Muscle Bodybuilders in Hell is a great time and available on multiple streaming sites, on DVD and Blu-ray. The hour and change runtime flies by, and Fukasawa's version of Ash has the right amount of camp to make for a gory, groovy time. My eyes! My beautiful human construct of another person! What 2D